Hey guys, John here from Coding with John. Today we're going to be writing a simple GPA calculator in Java. We're going to be starting from scratch, so let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start from scratch here in Eclipse, which is the IDE we're going to be using. Create a brand new Java project called GPA Calculator. And we're not going to make it too complicated. We're just going to keep it one class with one main method. We won't break it out too much. It's a pretty simple little small project named just a main class. Okay. All right. So the formula for calculating GPA is so basically it's total points divided by total credits attempted. And what that means is, so you get the number of points for a class by taking, so points for a class equals the grade value times the credits. So, and the grade value comes from A is 4, B is 3, etc., etc., etc. And that's why when you get all A's, you get a 4.0. So for example, if you have a one class that's worth 1 credit, you would have, so you have the total, the points for that class would be the grade value, which is 4, for if you got an A in that class. Your grade value would be 4 times the credits, which is 1, the credits, which is 1, divided by the total credits, which was 1. And your GPA would be 4.0. And basically you get your total GPA by taking all the total points you get from every class, divided by all the total credits attempted from every class. So how we're going to do it is we're going to work kind of iteratively and get a little bit to work, test it, and add a little bit more until we have a robust GPA calculator that we want. So the first thing I think we need to do is we need to be able to get input from the user about, we need to get, at least for one class, the total, we need to get their grade and the total number of credits. So we're going to just get input from the keyboard, from the console. I always forget how to do that, so I'm going to take the W3 Schools scanner class to get the input. We're not going to call it my object, we're just going to call it scanner. System.in. And so let's see, we're going to prompt them to enter their credits. Enter number of credits for the class. And we're going to get it here. Our credits. So the credits are going to be the next line in the scanner. And yeah, sure, let's test it by outputting what they put in. Just going to print credits. You don't need these extra comments. And this is complaining that we need to close the scanner, which we can just do that at the end. Okay, so basically what this does is say we create a new scanner so we can get some input from the user. We're going to print out, hey, please enter the credits, and then we're going to get that from the input and just print it out. So that's it. Let's go ahead and run it. Enter number of credits, 1, and it prints 1. And that's it. Cool, working fine. So now we can still use the same scanner, and we're going to get the number of, the letter grade. Enter grade. And string grade is the next line. Let's go ahead and, again, just print that out to make sure it works. Enter number of credits, 1, grade, B. Prints out 1 and B. Cool. All right, so now we need to, so let's try and get the GPA for this one class before we start making a loop and and getting the GPA for a whole bunch of classes. So let's do this calculation for the one class. So the number of credits is easy. We'll just take the number that they put in. There's nothing we have to do with that. That's the total credits. But we need to find this total points. And as we said, this total points for a class is the grade value, which is 4 for A, B for 3, etc., times the number of credits. So what we're going to do here, let's see. We're going to take this grade that they enter and calculate the points. So integer points, we're going to assign it to this variable. Just start it at 0. And then we're going to look for all the inputs that the user could give. So if grade equals A, or sorry, that's not how we want to do it. If grade dot equals ignore case A, so if they type in an uppercase A or a lowercase a, this will work. Let's see, we want to do points is equal to this calculation, which is the grade value times credits. So we take the credits that we already have here, and we're going to need to make it an integer. We are going to have to do that because we can't do a multiplication, but we'll figure that out in just a second. So it'll be the number of credits times 4, because 4 is the point value for an A. And actually, we could even break this out. So what I was going to say we could do, actually, first, let's back up for a second. We need to get this as an integer. Integer.parseInt credits. So now it's going to take the credits and parse an integer out of it. So perfect, now that works. So what I was going to say is then we could take this and do else if, it's a B, do times 3, but we have a little bit of duplicate code here. We're doing this multiplication each time. We really don't have to do that. So let's get an integer grade value. Initialize that to 0 also, just so we initialize it to something. And we're just going to get the grade value here. Grade value equals 4. And in here, grade value equals 3. So now we're not doing that multiplication, we're not duplicating that code, but it makes it just a little bit cleaner. So B, C, D, F. So for a C, for a D, for an F. And so for a C, it's going to be 2, for a D, it's going to be 1, and for an F, it's going to be 0. And then we'll deal with what happens if they don't send in one of those. Let's go ahead and do it. Else, so they sent in something bad. Please, we're just gonna for now print out. Oh, you printed it. You gave something bad, but we're going to also enforce that later on. You didn't enter a valid grade. We're just gonna be sad about it. Or valid grad. Oh, geez. All right, so we got this grade value. Now we want to get the number of points based on that grade value. So at this point, we've got the grade value. Points equals grade value times credits. We didn't have to do that each time. And we wanted integer parse int credits. So, okay. Now we're getting the number of points here by taking the grade value from the letter grade they entered, multiplying it by the number of credits. That gives the total number of points. So let's print that out too. Okay, and then, okay, that works, I think. Let's actually, let's give it a try. Let's prove it, make sure we have it right. Number of credits, 1 credit. Enter grade, let's say I got an A. So we put in 1 credit, grade A, 4 points. And that should be right, yes. So now let's calculate that GPA just for this one class. So let's make it a, well, for now it's just going to be an integer. We'll have to fix that later too. Integer GPA equals, and what did we say the calculation was? Total points over total credits. Now we have all those values already. Points over the same parsing here. Credits. So let's go ahead and print that out too. Oops. There we go. GPA. And let's make this easier for ourselves when we view this. Credits. There we go. Grade, points, GPA. GPA. Run that. I'm hitting Control F11 here to run that. If you're looking for that shortcut in Eclipse. Number of credits. 1 credit. I got an A. And so yeah, I got an A, 4 points. My GPA is 4. So that works for one class. All the math is really easy. So so one step at a time, let's make sure we can verify that the user is entering something good. So right now, if we run it and I enter a number of credits and I say J, it goes, okay, great. Now enter a grade, D, and it blows up because you get a number format exception here on this line because it's trying to parse an integer from the letter J, which of course it won't work. So what we want to do here is when they enter that number of credits, we want to verify that it's valid. So let's say we want to make an integer out of that. Credits int. Actually, let's make this one credits string. We're going to Alt-Shift-R, rename, hit enter, and it'll change that all around. But we're going to have an integer for the actual credits equals credits, or integer dot parse int from that credit string. We're going to get the integer from this credit. Now, of course, this will blow up too, the way it is right now. So what we want to do is do a try catch around it. Try to do this. And then if we get this number format exception, we're going to catch it and make them retry. So we have a catch statement for a number format exception, NFE, just to give it a name. And when that happens, we're going to be sad and tell the user, please enter a valid integer. And okay, so but now we need to be able to loop through here. And if they don't enter a valid integer, we need to send them back here. So we can do it this way: valid or Boolean valid credits. By default is true. We're going to assume that they do it right. And we'll start our loop here. We'll use a while loop. So while valid credits, we're going to keep asking for it until we, let me think about this. So yeah, while valid credits, or while, let's see, while, yeah. Let me think about this. While valid credits, so we're going to initialize it to false actually. And I think we're going to do a do while loop. Do this while valid credits is false. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this until it's true, right? I think that'll work. That'll work fine. Valid. So if we do this right and we don't get this number format exception, that'll be fine. Valid credits equals true. So once we get a good value, this will be set to true. It'll check this while and be like, oh no, it's true. We can move on. We've got a valid number. So let's go ahead and try that. errors exist, so no, we don't want to. Oh, we've got this credit string. We're trying to parse init now. We don't have to anymore. We can just use this credits, which we actually need to declare up here. Otherwise, it'll only apply inside of that, inside of this scope. We can't declare it in here. Otherwise, outside of this block, it won't be available. And we need it to be available down here when we make this calculation. Credits. My credit string, yeah, no, that's not available anymore. So we'll just use credits there too. Cool. All right, enter a number of credits. Let's put in some garbage. R. Please enter a valid integer. Enter grade. Oh, no, it didn't. It went to straight to the grade. So let me think. What's going wrong? Why is this complaining? Oh, it's not used. Oh, well, rookie mistake. I'll tell you, I've been programming for 15 years almost. You keep finding yourself, you make those mistakes less. Don't get me wrong, but you still make them. Okay, number of credits, enter a valid integer. T, enter a valid integer, blah, blah, blah. I can keep putting in garbage until I put in a valid integer. Good, now it's happy, and it asks me to enter grade. Perfect, that's what we wanted. All right, so now it keeps doing this loop until you enter a valid integer, and good. Now we're guaranteed to come out of this with a valid integer for credits. Now, let's do the same thing for the grade here. So we're going to prompt them to enter the grade, and until they enter a valid grade, we're going to keep looping through it. So we're going to have to do it a little different here. So let's say we had a Boolean like invalid grade. Let's see. Let me think about this. Which kind of Boolean we want? Let's say Boolean valid grade equals true. And then here, Boolean, or sorry, valid grade equals false. We're going to set it to false. So we want to do, so we want a similar kind of loop here, but let's see which kind of direction we want to do it. While valid, I think we want it the same kind of thing, don't we? We want to always do it at least once, so we can do a do while loop. While valid grade, or while not valid grade. We could have done that up here too. We could have, instead of valid credits equals false, we could have just done not valid credits. I realize this is kind of the opposite of the way we did it, but we can do it either way. Let's be consistent. Valid credits equals true, and we'll do while not valid credits. And we'll put the condition down here. We set it to true, and then we only set it to false. Oh, we actually have to put this in here. Let me think. So when will this ever get set back to true again? I think we have to, so we have Boolean valid credits equals true. We're going to have to set it to true here at the top of this while loop, because if we don't, once it gets set to false here, it'll never get set to true. So at the beginning of each one, we want to assume that it's going to be true. And then make it prove itself wrong if it's not. So it'll get kicked over to false if they enter something bad. And then again, by default, assume it's going to be true. If we didn't have this, it would never, once it got in and somebody put in something wrong, it would just keep looping forever because it would never get set back to true. Anyways, we want to do something similar here too. We want to assume valid grade is true going in. Set it to true, and then if they put in something bad, set it to false. And then if it's false, we'll try again. Now, let's see, grade value. Oh, we need to, since this is now set, this is declared inside this scope. It's only valid inside the scope. Notice it doesn't exist outside of that scope. So we need to move this up here, outside of that scope, so it's accessible to these other things. All right, let's give that a try. Let's check both of our validations. Enter a number of credits. Put in some garbage. It doesn't like the garbage. Once we enter a number, it's happy. Now enter a grade. Let's enter some invalid grades. Whoa, we've got some kind of an infinite loop. Here's the problem. We didn't put the printing and scanner inside this loop. We need to do that. So what was happening was it was asking for it here and then just doing that do while loop forever. This line is what actually stops the program and waits for your input. So you need to do that inside the loop. Let's see, what did we miss? Grade. So we need to declare this outside also. String grade equals just an empty string, just so it's never null. Okay, let's give that another try. We know the credit stuff works. Oops. We know the credit stuff works, so let's just give whatever number of credits. Enter a grade. Let's give some garbage. You didn't enter a valid grade. Enter a grade. You didn't enter a valid grade. You didn't enter a valid grade. You didn't enter a valid grade. Now D. That's valid. So yeah, you had 2 credits. You got a D. Your GPA is 1. Awesome. So now we have a GPA calculator that works for one class. Now let's create a loop to do multiple classes. All right, so we're going to do something similar to what we've got here. We want another do while loop. Do all of this. Let's see, let me think. We want to do all of this. I'm gonna shift this over. What we want to do is get the total number of credits. We need to do this inside of here. So we're going to need a running total of the points and a total of the credits. So let's see, the points for 1, this is still correct for the number of points for this. We're going to have to put in a while or this is going to be angry. I'm just going to shut it up. Well, true for now, which is not what we want, but don't worry. This will give us the points for this particular class. The grade value plus the credits equals the points. And we're going to want total points and a total credits as we accumulate these. So outside of these, we're going to want to have an integer total points, initialize that to 0, integer total credits, initialize that to 0. And we're going to take these total points, and here we know the points. So for this class, we're going to add it to the total points. Total points equals total points plus points. And if we also want to be super fancy, we can say total points plus equals points. That does the same thing. It takes total points and adds points to it and assigns it to that. And we can do the same thing with credits. Credits, or total credits plus equals credits. So now we've got the total points racking up here. The GPA is actually going to be the total points over the total credits. So we don't have all the, we won't have the grade as a total. We don't know that there isn't a such thing as a total grade. We just have the total points, total credits, and the GPA. Unreachable code. Oh, because I made this while true. So now we want to do this, keep doing this loop while we want to make the user add one thing, at least one class, and then if they say yes, I want to add another, then when we put them through the loop again. So Boolean more classes equals I guess it doesn't matter. Boolean more classes. We'll just declare it here. So it's accessible. Let's just default it to false. And at the end of entering one class, what we want to do is prompt the user to tell us whether they want to add another class. So we're going to copy this. We've added the credits. Now we want to ask, would you like to enter another class? And we're going to say yes or no. Put in Y or N. And we're going to, let's see, more classes string equals the scanner.next line. Make that a string. And then if they made this a Y, we want to set this Boolean to true, so that, oh yes, they want more classes, we will start this loop over again. Okay? So more classes equals, we're going to assign that to more classes string dot equals ignore case Y. So we're going to basically look for a Y, and if they send anything else in the world, it won't go through it again. We can do the same kind of validation we did here. I don't think we have to worry about that too much here. You can fancy it up yourself. We'll leave that as a project to you. You can, if they don't put in a Y or an N, you can complain to them and make them put in something good. Number of credits, 1, enter grade A. Would you like to enter another class? Yes. Number of credits, let's see, it's a 2 credit class, and I got a B. Would you like to enter another class? No. It says okay. So yeah, we've had 3 total credits, 2 and 1. Total points was 10 because it was 1 times 4 plus 2 times 3. So that's a total of 10. And my GPA, in this case, it's technically rounding to 3, or it's doing integer division to get 3. So this is something we're going to have to mess with next. We're going to have to, because right now what it's doing is it's taking 10 and dividing it by 3. The GPA should be like 3.33 or something, but it's doing integer division, which means it takes 10 divided by 3 and then just gets rid of the remainder. So it's just giving me 3. So what we actually need to do here now, so I think everything's working fine from getting all the information for all the classes. But what we need to do is be able to do, to make these into like a float or a double and get decimal versions of this, basically. So let's go ahead and just do that, probably in a pretty simple way here. So let's make, so let's call the GPA a double. Double GPA equals, and now you can see it's going to get an int from this result, but it wants a double. So we're just going to like basically make these a double. Double dot value of total points over, same thing for total credits. Just use the doubles. And we're going to print out that double. So let's do the exact same thing we did. We had 1A to B. Okay? Let's go ahead and try that. Number of credits. Whoops. 1. Got an A. Yes. 2. Got a B. Would you like to add another class? No. And yeah, look. 3.333. So now we're going to have to find a way. Well, we don't have to. This is the grade point average. It's rounding to like, what is that? Like a dozen decimal places or something. We could definitely leave it at that, because this is accurate. But what are you used to seeing? You're used to seeing in like on your transcripts, you're used to seeing basically 2 decimal places. So I think that's what we're going to try and round it to. Now, here's something, again, you never remember how to do it unless you do in day-to-day work and on a job in an enterprise application. You never have to take a number and round it to 2 decimal places. So here's my tip. Just know how to look it up. So let's do it. Java round double to 2 decimal places. Perfect. Well, it looks like I've looked that up before. We got a decimal format. Nice. We can use this decimal format. Class. So let's see if that works. Default is rounding mode half even. Let's go ahead and try that. We're going to use a decimal format. Just put it up here at the top. Oh, we only need it once, so we're going to put it here. Just put it right next to it. Decimal format df equals decimal format. And that format is 0.00. And then that was, to get the format here, we do df dot format that GPA. See, and these are things you never have to remember. If you get asked something like this in an interview, how do you take a decimal and make it only to 2 decimal places? If they make you come up with that from memory in an interview, just don't bother with that company. You need to know how to create something like this. You don't need to memorize decimal format and, oh, that's java.text.decimal. No. Just know how to look it up. Everybody that you work with that is competent will understand. It won't matter. Let's try that again. 1A, 2B. Number of credits, 1, got an A. Yes. 2, got a B. No. 3.33. Awesome. Perfect. I think that's about it. Let's just test it one more time with just a whole barrage of stuff, making sure we can do it. Let's just test every bit of it. So, number of credits. Let's put in some garbage. Yeah, that's still working. You can enter all kinds of junk and it doesn't work. Number of credits. Let's say I had a 3 credit class, got an A. Yeah, let's enter another. And then I had a 1 credit class, I got an F. Yeah, I want to add another class. I got a 5 credit class, I got a B. Let's add one more. I had a 4 credit class, got a C. Would you like to add another class? No. So great, here's my total credits, my total points, and my GPA is 2.69. So yeah, I think that's about it. We could do some other cleaning. I'm sure there's some refactoring we could do if we want to make this very pretty. And maybe we'll do that kind of thing in a future video, but I don't think we have to right now. This is fine, it works. I'm sure there's some optimization we could do. We could have made this a case statement, maybe made this a little bit cleaner. We could, of course, get rid of comments. If you like different ways of doing formatting, I'm sure we could do that. Clean up some of the print statements we don't need. But I think this is fine. So, yeah, I hope you guys found some value in this. If you have, please shoot me a like and subscribe for more future videos like this. If not, shoot me a dislike and tell me what you want to see. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it and hope to see you next time.